Dalgliesh is back on Channel 5 with 3 stories being told across 6 episodes, all set in different locations and time periods. The troubled detective, played by Bertie Carvel, has started to come to terms with the loss of his wife and baby and has thrown himself into his work. However, he continued to show signs of emotional instability at the start of the 2nd season as he dealt with another family's heartbreak. Bertie Carvel spoke exclusively to Express.co.uk and other press about how he personally connected with the fictional detective. He opened up about the death of his mother during the 1st season and how he has come to terms with loss. When asked what Dalgliesh meant by keeping going in life, a quote from the 2nd season, Bertie said, "I don't think he knows, and a big personal connection in the 1st series for me was grief because I had recently lost my mother. I was able to channel that, work through that to some extent. Another great privilege of being an artist is you get to put your own life. There's a very porous membrane between the two. That was a big point of connection for me in as much as I followed that personal story on. One of the things that struck me in the aftermath of the initial year of grief for me personally, and maybe connecting to some of the things we have all lived through about COVID, certainly coming out of that first initial, very present stage of grief, was a big questioning of what am I doing? Don't miss Corey's Daniel Brocklebank absolutely devastated over co-star's exit. Insight, Dan Wootton demands King withdraw Harry's invitation to coronation. Video, Emmerdale's Scott Windsor to return as fans spot telling clue. Discussion, what's it all for? And so when in the 1st episode of Season 2 when Blanche asks him poetry is taking off, why don't you give up your day job and stop looking at dead people? I think inside a voice goes, why not? Why wouldn't I do that? You are trying to find an arc for this series when it was clear last season the arc was about grief. He explained how this time around, the question is about what am I doing here? The star added, it's a big existential question, but what am I doing here as a policeman? Why do I spend all this time looking at dead bodies? And for me, the thing about this series is confronting that question. What activates that is the offer on the table to give it all up, as almost going through each scene where something incredibly depressing is happening, and he is having to look very acutely at pain and death and dysfunction. Some part of him is massively excited by that and energized, and Terry's some part that's hugely depressed by it and has trying to wrestle those two things together. I don't think Terry's a straightforward answer, but me trying to work through what is it about this man that he feels his life's work is to spend private time with dead people." Dalgliesh returns to Channel 5 tonight, April 28, at 9 p.m.